You're listening to Two Guys and a Question, the podcast where Alan Creedy and Danny Jefferson explore the ideas that matter most in funeral service. I'm your host, and today we're diving into something that touches every family we serve: the difference between a transaction and a true interaction. Join us as Alan and Danny discuss why rediscovering the human side of service isn't just important, it's everything.
I'm Alan Creedy.
I'm Danny Jefferson.
And we're Two Guys and a Question. And Danny, you wanted to make an observation about something that you've seen recently. And it's not new. I've seen it for many years.
Yeah, it's been around for a while, where you have your funeral directors to show a family a video either of how the vault works, if you're still calling it vault, how the outer burial container works, or even options that you may have available to a family, either the jewelry or whatever. Look, a grieving family knows that is a sales pitch. They know it is AI generated. They know that you're trying to sell them something, regardless of what you've been told. If you ask, or you want to ask any family that has been to a funeral home and had to watch, quote unquote, that's what I hear, had to watch one of those videos, they shut down. It turns them off.
Danny, I got one question and one observation. So I'll start with the observation. What we have been preaching, what you've been preaching, is the relational side of this interaction.
Absolutely.
I'm not calling it a transaction. I'm calling it interaction. And if you were on the street and let's say you were at a coffee shop, that's a better place, and you were having a conversation with somebody you just met, but you were getting to know them and you liked them and things were going well. And in the middle of that conversation, they said, hey, listen, I want you to watch this video. It would completely interrupt and possibly derail the conversation.
If you had a Little League baseball team, Alan, my grandson, one of my grandsons, 12, he's 13 and playing baseball. And just before he's getting ready to bat, you show him a video of how to swing the bat. He's not going to watch it. He's pumped up. His insides, his internal organs are cringing because he's got to get a bat on a ball that's coming at him, and of course, in that case, about 60 miles an hour. But the point being, he's not interested in watching the video. He's interested in you saying, you can do this.
And to that point, the question I have is this. Do you feel so poorly about your own product knowledge that you need to show a video? This is completely mysterious to me.
Yes.
That you would, first of all, interject a distraction. That doesn't make any sense. But understand what the producers of those videos are trying to accomplish. They're trying to get you to do their work for them in a consistent way.
And they're trying to create emotion. They already have emotion. You don't need to create it.
Yeah. So I guess we try not to criticize, but I really do have to hold out a question as to why someone would even think about doing something like this. I don't hold it against the people who sell the products. That, of course, you would try to do something like that. But for the funeral director, this is a delicate time. It's difficult enough with all the preconceptions about funeral directors to establish and nurture a productive relationship. To interject a mechanical device in the process, I'm going to make it worse. I'm going to make this worse. I have been an advocate for many years of making arrangements using a computer and putting the arrangements in the computer as you go along and you did this, a modem that the family can watch and so on and so forth. I actually made funeral arrangements with someone who did that. And I was shocked by my own reaction because if you've heard me talk, you've heard me say, that is the way I would do it. It was so wholly distracting. It was like mother's maiden name, tap your mother's date of birth. It was like, oh my gosh.
I'm taking offense. I never did that. You just said I did, but
I thought you did.
I did use a computer to show families pictures of a casket.
Okay, all right.
And I did use the computer screen to type the obituary with the family.
So that was a collaboration effort.
That was a collaboration.
That was a mutual thing.
Sometimes I would even give the keyboard to somebody in the family if they type faster than me.
As long as it's a mutual collaboration. But this filling out a form that way.
No, I never did that.
It truly, Danny, I was very surprised by my reaction because I have, and I'm embarrassed to say that for decades I have been one of those that said I would do that. And now I see what it does to the interaction. It destroys it.
You see me shaking my head. No, you can't do that and maintain that connection, that relationship connection. I don't even like doing it with a nurse at a doctor's visit where they're plunking on a little keyboard and laptop and they're not really listening to me.
I would agree with you on that, but what it did was it took a tedious process and made it more tedious.
Exactly. That's part of we got their little secret sauce, and that's the way we stop that secret sauce. That secret sauce works, and we can spread it on. But what that does, it just totally defeats all of the things that you were leading up to, and now all of a sudden they're just a number.
So, short commercial here. That is the result. That is the solution that we've accomplished with Funeral Flow, our automation system. And many people probably don't know about this, but Danny and I have created something called Funeral Flow. And what it does is it takes a recording of your interaction. No pencils, no paper. You don't change anything you do, but you record the conversation. Funeral Flow takes that recording and produces a summary, a to-do list for the family, and a to-do list for the funeral director. It outlines the contract. It creates an obituary, all hands off.
Right.
And within minutes. It's really miraculous to watch it work or to experience it work because you don't have to get this tap stuff.
But you know what I think one of the greatest powers to you doing and the funeral directors that are doing this, what it does? First off, it takes all of the administration away from the interview.
Yeah, and practically done by the time the family's ready to leave.
Exactly. And all you do is present them with what administrative did behind the scenes.
Yep.
And the words we hear all the time is wow, wow, wow.
We also hear this is a game changer.
Sure.
I think Jay Wilkinson told us that it increased his arrangement capacity from 2 families a day to 5.
And he can be home in the evening with his 2 girls.
Absolutely.
You can do it.
And we can help.
You've been listening to Two Guys and a Question with Alan Creedy and Danny Jefferson. Be sure and tune in each week for another version of Two Guys and a Question. You can do it, and they can help.